Chaos Poultry Farm. Today we are in our day 2 of our brooding process. And today we're going to give you an update of what happened yesterday, which was day 1, and what happened in the evening and up to morning of today, day 2. So yesterday, when we emptied the boxes of all the 1-day-old chicks that we received, we had 3 chicks that was dead inside the boxes. It means that they were dead during their transportation or during their packing, but they were already dead when we received them. And therefore, we noted 3 mortalities that were not caused by our farm, but that happened in the bunch that we got. Those are 3 mortalities due to transportation. After that, we had no other mortalities during the day. And in the evening, we stayed up and looked at the chicks. We had to go around making sure that no chick is not walking around and taking water and eating food. No chicks are hanging around in heaps because they would suffocate each other. And this is basically what you do the whole night. You just walk around the 2 brooders and you hit on the sides and they will move away. So we did this, and after some times we went away and we would come back after every 1 hour and check on them and hit on the brooder side so that they could disperse. And this went on very well, very, very well the first night. I will also note that the first day we noted the weight of the chicks. So we took a sample of 20 chicks that we weighed, and they were weighing between 24 grams up to 36 grams. So they had different weights on them, but the least was 24 and the highest was 36 grams. And so this is what we did during the first day that we didn't mention yesterday. And in the evening, we left the brooder and we went to sleep for a short time. We came back at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is now day 2. Day 2, that's the night between day 1 and day 2. And the brooder temperature had gone down to plus 26. And so we had to light 2 more charcoal stoves to put up the heat to about 32 degrees centigrade. And this we did and stayed in the brooder throughout, which is very warm and you really sweat during all the time. It really gets sweaty, but you have to do that because the chicks cannot warm up themselves and they don't have feathers, and so they only rely on this heat, and you have to keep that heat for them. And this is what we did. We just walked around, hit the side of the brooder, and they dispersed. Check the water and check the food. And we realized that they were not able to eat the food from the trays that we had bought because they were big trays and they were climbing on them to eat the food. And after some times, it would be so slippery that they cannot walk. And so they just didn't climb on them again. And so we didn't have much choice but to pour the food on the floor. And so we just sprinkled all the food on the floor, and this was very good. It was a good idea to do this because all the chicks were spread everywhere and they could find food anywhere and everywhere they went. We are not going to be measuring the amount of food that we feed our chicks. We're just going to make sure that they have food all the time. The only thing that we're going to do is to make sure we have the right mixture. But how much we give them is not going to matter right now because they have to grow their organs, they have to grow their bodies, and they have to grow and mature very fast and good enough so that they'll be able to lay eggs. Here we are seeing the hospital. These are the little chicks that we have divided, or rather secluded from the other bunch, and they're in a hospital. So they have some few deformities, different type of problems. So like this little chick here is not able to walk. The legs are somehow not straight, so it cannot stand and it cannot walk. And we have another one, which is, they have different types of small problems. And so we have been able to detect them and actually separate them, and so that they can easily feed and take care of them in this little hospital. This is how our 2-day-old chicks look like. Very tiny and very many. That's the temperature here, which we have, which is now 31 degrees. You can see that it had gone down to 25 and then to 29. Now it's 31. We have in both brooders, so that we can always check the temperature for both. So you can see there we've had a minimum of 29 and now it's 30.5, which is quite fine. And so you see that if the temperatures are very low, then all the chicks will gather under the heat source. And if it's very cold, when it's very cold, they'll gather under the heat source, and if it's very warm, then they'll spread out and go to the side of the brooder. And when everything is okay, then they will be all over. So now we can see they're feeling a bit cold, and that's why they come and stay around the heat bulb. And because it's very hot in the middle, you can see that they actually move away from there. They're very smart. They know how to run away from heat or to come to the heat. So that's a very natural way of surviving for them. And they are very smart in that. So we're going to just watch them throughout the night and see that they're okay. They have started to sneak out. So you find that on the sides, there comes out little chicks, and they come to the outside, and you have to actually go around all the brooders all the time and check in the sharp corners where you cannot see them, because they look like the wood shavings, so you actually don't see them. But then they make a certain chick noise, which you can hear from very far, and then you look for it when you hear that noise. So you really have to go around and check such corners there, because that's where they like to hide. And you keep on pouring food for them, because they need food all the time. They're eating all the time. And so you have to keep just adding the food so that they're fed all the time. And you need to come with a bottle of water, because it's very hot and you get very thirsty. So it's important that you remember that you should have some water inside the brooder for yourself. So I will try again on the tray and see if it will work for them. Like I said, it's very slippery. That's why it has not been very functional the first day of our 1-day-old chick's life. So here we are, and they're very healthy and they are very strong, and we are not experiencing any problems at all with our chicks. And that's how it has been going. We are now in day 2 of our brooding. And in our day 2 of our brooding, we lost 2 chicks. Both of them were in the hospital, and they were very weak and they had some deformities. So it was very difficult for them to survive. So we lost 2 chicks today, which is day 2 of our brooding. And it's been going very well so far. you can see our chicks are very healthy and strong, and with no problems at all. We are not experiencing any problems with our brooding. We are not experiencing any sicknesses as yet. We have not experienced much death other than the 2 which were not well, and the 3 that were dead before we received the package. Therefore, I think we are doing very well, considering that we have 2,900 plus chicks, because we get extra chicks. Every box, we were told, had 2 extra chicks, which means we got about 58 extra chicks, which is very nice. And so I shall continue just using my trays, just so that we teach them not to eat from the floor all the time. We have to use the trays because, as you can see, the brooding paper is actually not very clean, and this might cause some problems later on. So we will try to put the trays there so that they learn how to eat from there. And later on, we shall bring the feeders. Right now, I think we cannot manage with the feeders, and we need to have all of them eating at all the time. So you can see how we are pouring the pellets on the floor. Not a very clean floor, but yeah, we don't have much trays right now. And that's what we're doing, because they're just eating anything on the floor. So it's as well that we put the food so they have the food to eat. And we just go around and pour it just little all over. It's actually a lot of wasted food, I would say that. But you don't have a choice when you choose to keep so many chicks. You have to waste a lot of food, and it's a bit expensive. But we hope that we will get back our money when we get the eggs. So we have to sacrifice now so that we can get the eggs and get back our money later on. So here we are. We just keep watching them throughout the night, and that's all you do. Make sure the temperature is right. Make sure the light is on all the time. Make sure there's food all the time. Make sure there's clean water all the time. Those are the 4 things that must be there: light, heat, food, and water. And that's all they need. And so you can see that now it's getting a bit cold. That's why they are approaching the heat lamp. It's very late at night, and because it's corrugated iron, then it gets cold. But then it's already morning, and we are going into day 3. So see you in our day 3 of our brooding process. Thank you. Bye-bye.